Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Floyd, Money, Mayweather, and Terence Bud Crawford. Get this. Floyd Mayweather states that I would love to sign Terence Crawford. I'm going to support Black American first. Terence Crawford finds himself in a similar predicament that Floyd Mayweather Jr. once was in, soon after betting on himself by buying out of his contract with Top Rank in 2006. Mayweather set himself up with a super fight against Oscar De La Hoya the following year. Mayweather was 29 years old at the time and would go on to break the bank with several box office events for the next decade, all while etching his legacy as one of the best ever to lace up the gloves. Crawford's contract with Top Rank reached its end when he fought and scored a stoppage win against Sean Porter in November. In January, Crawford sued Bob Arum and company for breach of contract while also claiming racial bias. The WBO welterweight champion Crawford is currently a free agent and is etching to close an undisputed championship matchup against Errol the Truth Spence, the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF welterweight titleist after a years long stalemate. Crawford, 34, and Spence, 32, are warming up to the idea of fighting each other. Okay, Mayweather mostly earned his money mantra by hitching his wagon with Heyman, and the Hall of Fame fighter is looking to give Crawford an opportunity of the same spoils should Bud be inclined. He said it's no different from Chinese supporting the Chinese, Dominicans supporting the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans supporting Puerto Rico, Mexicans supporting Mexicans. I am a Black American. I'm going to support a Black American first. I've always wanted the best for Terence Crawford, always. We spoke on numerous occasions. We have each other's phone numbers. Hopefully everything plays out like it should. And of course, I would love to sign Terence Crawford. I talked about getting Terence Crawford the fights that he wants. Mayweather said in an interview with Fight Hype, he said, you see so many young fighters now starting their own promotional company. You have to be able to give fighters $1 million and up to $6 million in advance before you get a promotional company. I'm not talking about Terence Crawford, but fighters in general. If you're not able to do that and be able to promote, to be a major promoter right now, then we should wait on that. That's what I think. Everything has a time and a place, but I think every fighter should have a dream of being a promoter. Promoting is a rough job. You can look at me, for instance. I wanted to be a promoter to help fighters, but the more I help them, the more they hate me. They come with the territory, or that comes with the territory. That comes with the sport. It is what it is. Those are the words of Floyd Mayweather. Let me counterpunch. I think Floyd, I don't really know if Terence Crawford would just sign with Floyd. It's a good idea. Or I like the idea of Floyd wanting to help him, but at what point and how? Okay, now Al Heyman and the PBC, and Floyd Mayweather, they're in close conjunction. We know that. And we also know that Errol Spence has been calling out now Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford called out Errol Spence, confronted Errol Spence, and really just got tired of Spence. Now it's brewed back up. So the idea looks like it's more believable and more seeable right now. But him saying like, hey, I want to, I would love to sign Terence Crawford. I think he should, since he believes that most fighters should be promoters, I think he should consider the idea of a one-fight deal, to give him lucrative money like Canelo. Because one thing about Floyd left Top Rank because Floyd wanted a certain amount of money that Bob Arum did not want to give him, and he didn't. So he left. He paid himself out and he left. And that amount was $20 million. Okay, he wanted $20 million to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Bob Arum said, definitely not. So he went and did what he had to do. And then the next year, he got $20 million to take on Oscar De La Hoya. And it broke records, and he won. So advantage Floyd. So if you are anybody that wants anyone else to be anybody, I think he should honor Terence Crawford. Okay? Give Terence Crawford the amount of money that he needs to fight Errol Spence. I mean, that's if he does that. That's if Floyd is serious. Because based on what we've seen from him, his fighters don't really make a lot of money unless they bring someone else in like Canelo. And look what they did for him. They gave him $50 million. So for us to say, or for him to say, well, I try to help my black American fighters first. Well, if you're not trying to persuade Terence Crawford into a lump sum of money or a fight purse worth your while, that's not really fair for you to say that, because again, you and Al Heyman guaranteed Canelo on the PBC side to fight on Showtime, a guarantee of $50 million. Well, if you gave any of your quote-unquote black fighters that, you would be telling the truth, but he hasn't. Now, I know Canelo has the star power, and I know what people are saying, but at the end of the day, you know, if he respects people and he sees the potential out of people like Terence Crawford, I think, and I'm not even saying Terence has asked for a shitload of money, but what I'm saying is he should want to sign him with something enticing enough to at least parallel something that you've already gave another fighter that wasn't your ethnicity. Counterpunching. So, in other words, Floyd Mayweather, if he loves to sign Terence Crawford, let's see how much he wants Terence Crawford to take on Errol Spence for all those straps. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Floyd Money Mayweather saying that he would love to promote Terence Crawford. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.